The aging brain and the promise of renewal. The prospect of cognitive decline often looms over the aging process like an inevitable shadow, casting doubt on the future quality of life for many seniors. A prevalent but flawed assumption suggests that mental sharpness must deteriorate linearly with age, a surrender to biological decay that many accept without question. This narrative overlooks the profound plasticity of the human brain and its ability to regenerate and strengthen when provided with specific, potent fuel sources. By integrating modern medical insights with the disciplined, holistic philosophy of Shi Heng Yi, a pathway emerges that transcends mere preservation and aims for revitalization. The convergence of nutritional science and the principles of self-mastery reveals that specific natural foods possess the power to safeguard neural pathways, enhance memory retention, and sustain mental clarity well into later years. This exploration traces the mechanisms of 7 powerful fruits, not merely as food, but as tools for cognitive endurance, offering a structured approach to fueling the mind with intention and precision. The antioxidant shield and the clarity of mind. One of the primary threats to the aging brain is oxidative stress, a biological rusting process that degrades cellular integrity and impairs cognitive function over time. Medical research consistently highlights the role of dark-skinned berries, such as blueberries and blackberries, in counteracting this damage through their high concentration of flavonoids and anthocyanins. These compounds traverse the blood-brain barrier to seek out and neutralize free radicals, acting as microscopic guardians of neural tissue. In the context of the philosophy maintained by Shi Heng Yi, this process parallels the removal of mental impurities that cloud judgment and hinder focus. The consumption of these fruits is not a passive act of eating, but an active measure of defense, ensuring that the vessel of the mind remains unburdened by the accumulation of toxic byproducts. The antioxidants found within these fruits function by reducing inflammation, which is often the silent precursor to neurodegenerative conditions that rob individuals of their memories and identity. A closer examination of the biological mechanism reveals that the anthocyanins in blueberries interact directly with the areas of the brain associated with memory and learning, specifically the hippocampus. Studies indicate that regular intake can improve signaling between neurons, effectively turning up the volume of cellular communication. This enhancement of signal transmission is crucial for seniors who may experience the frustration of the tip of the tongue phenomenon or slower processing speeds. The disciplined approach advocated by Shi Heng Yi emphasizes consistency in practice. Similarly, the neuroprotective benefits of these fruits are cumulative, relying on steady, daily integration rather than sporadic consumption. The brain, much like a muscle trained in the martial arts, requires a reliable source of support to maintain its responsiveness and agility. The concept of neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, was once thought impossible in the adult brain. Yet recent findings suggest that compounds in these fruits can indeed stimulate growth factors. This biological potential aligns with the view that the human potential is not fixed but expansive, provided the right conditions are met. The intake of strawberries, rich in fisetin, offers another layer of protection by specifically targeting the maintenance of long-term memory pathways. This duality of protecting existing structures while encouraging new growth creates a robust defense system against the natural erosion of time. It is a biological affirmation of the idea that one can constantly rebuild oneself, regardless of the years that have passed. In the daily life of a senior, the practical application of this knowledge requires a shift in perspective regarding the purpose of food. It involves viewing a bowl of berries not as a simple dessert, but as a critical investment in one's autonomy and mental independence. The ritual of preparation and consumption becomes a moment of mindfulness, acknowledging the direct link between the nutrient and the neural outcome. This perspective shifts the locus of control back to the individual, dispelling the fear that cognitive health is entirely at the mercy of genetics or chance. The active engagement with one's diet fosters a sense of agency that is vital for emotional well-being during the aging process. However, it is important to recognize that the efficacy of these fruits can be diminished by the presence of competing dietary factors, such as high sugar intake from processed sources. The benefits of anthocyanins can be blunted if the metabolic environment is inflamed by refined carbohydrates, creating a chaotic internal state that overrides the subtle repair mechanisms. This limitation underscores the necessity of a holistic approach, where the addition of beneficial elements is matched by the subtraction of harmful ones. Shi Heng Yi often speaks of the need to remove the weeds before planting the seeds. In this nutritional context, it means clearing the dietary landscape to allow these powerful nutrients to perform their work without obstruction. The journey toward cognitive resilience is also a journey of patience, as the restoration of cellular health occurs on a timeline that demands trust in the process. The immediate gratification of processed sugar is replaced by the slow, steady burn of genuine vitality provided by natural sources. This transition can be challenging, as the palate and the mind are often conditioned to seek quick fixes, yet the reward is a clarity that endures. The medical community supports this shift, noting that sustainable brain health is built on the foundation of long-term dietary patterns rather than short-term interventions. There are moments when the sheer volume of nutritional advice can feel overwhelming. And in those moments, it is helpful to remember that the body has an innate wisdom that recognizes and utilizes natural, whole foods efficiently. A simple adjustment to include a serving of these fruits daily can serve as a cornerstone habit, a small but significant anchor in the day that signals a commitment to self-care. It is a practice that respects the complexity of the brain while honoring the simplicity of nature's solutions. Even with the best dietary practices, no single food acts as a panacea, and the expectation of a miracle cure can lead to disappointment if not tempered with realism. The fruits are powerful allies, but they function best within a system of overall health that includes movement and mental engagement. The synergy between physical activity and nutritional support amplifies the effects of both, creating a positive feedback loop that elevates the senior's quality of life. The holistic view reminds the individual that the mind and body are inextricably linked, and treating them as separate entities limits the potential for true healing. Am I treating my body as a vessel worth preserving or a storage unit for convenience? The lipid foundation and sustainable energy of the human brain is primarily composed of fat, a structural reality that necessitates a continuous supply of high-quality lipids to maintain the integrity of cell membranes and the speed of neural transmission. Avocados, often distinguished by their rich monounsaturated fat content, serve as a premier source of this essential fuel, offering a direct countermeasure to the drying and shrinking of neural tissues often associated with aging. From a medical standpoint, the healthy fats found in avocados help to reduce blood pressure, a critical factor since hypertension is a leading risk linked to cognitive decline. Shi Heng Yi's teachings on the importance of grounding and stability find a physiological echo here. Just as a martial artist requires a stable stance to generate power, the brain requires a stable lipid foundation to generate thought. The presence of lutein in avocados further enhances this effect, accumulating in the brain to improve problem-solving skills and working memory. Unlike the fleeting energy provided by simple sugars, which results in sharp peaks and crashes, the energy derived from healthy fat provides a sustained, slow-release fuel that supports prolonged mental exertion. This aligns with the cultivation of stamina and endurance, qualities that are essential not just for physical feats, but for the mental marathon of aging with dignity. The monounsaturated fats facilitate better blood flow, ensuring that oxygen and nutrients reach the cognitive centers efficiently. This vascular support is paramount, as the health of the brain is inextricably tied to the health of the heart and the circulatory system. The interconnection of these systems reinforces the holistic perspective that treating one part of the body inevitably benefits the whole. A significant challenge for many seniors is the management of inflammation, which can simmer chronically and impair neural function without manifesting as obvious physical pain. The oleic acid in avocados acts as a potent anti-inflammatory agent, soothing the biological irritation that can distract the brain from its maintenance tasks. This internal calmness allows the nervous system to shift from a state of constant high alert to a state of rest and repair. It is in this state of biological equilibrium that memory consolidation occurs most effectively, allowing the experiences of the day to be firmly etched into long-term storage. Midway through this exploration, it becomes clear that the integration of knowledge is as important as the acquisition of it. The senior who understands the why behind their food choices is more likely to adhere to them with conviction. Shi Heng Yi emphasizes that true mastery comes not from knowing 1,000 techniques, but from practicing the essential ones with unwavering dedication. In the context of brain health, incorporating a consistent source of healthy fat is one of those essential practices. It represents a commitment to fueling the engine of the mind with premium material, refusing to compromise on the quality of what builds one's very thoughts. The practical application of this involves more than just occasional consumption. It requires a strategic inclusion of healthy fats in daily meals to ensure a steady supply for the brain. For a senior, this might look like replacing butter with avocado on toast or adding it to salads, simple swaps that yield profound cumulative dividends. This dietary strategy also aids in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, which are crucial for overall neurological health. The avocado acts as a nutrient booster, unlocking the full potential of other foods consumed alongside it, much like a skilled teacher unlocks the potential within a student. However, the density of calories in fatty fruits can be a point of concern for those managing weight, presenting a limitation that requires balance and moderation. The key lies in understanding that the caloric value is matched by immense nutritional density, providing satiety that prevents overeating of less nutritious options. The fear of fat, a remnant of outdated dietary guidelines, often prevents seniors from embracing these beneficial foods. Overcoming this fear requires an update in understanding, recognizing that not all fats are created equal and that the brain starves without them. The psychological impact of stabilized blood sugar, supported by the fiber and fat in avocados, cannot be overstated. Fluctuations in glucose can lead to brain fog, irritability, and fatigue, states that mimic or exacerbate cognitive decline. By stabilizing these levels, the individual gains a reliable mental platform from which to operate, free from the erratic swings that disrupt focus. This stability is the physiological counterpart to emotional equanimity, a state of balance where the mind remains undisturbed by external or internal turbulence. It is worth noting that while avocados are powerful, they are most effective when part of a diverse diet that covers the full spectrum of nutritional needs. Reliance on a single source of fat would overlook the benefits of omega-3s found in other sources, such as nuts or fish, which work synergistically with monounsaturated fats. The goal is to create a rich, varied nutritional environment where the brain has access to every tool it might need for repair and performance. The incorporation of olives and olive oil also falls under this category of lipid support, offering similar polyphenol that protect memory and learning ability. These fruits of the earth carry with them the history of longevity found in Mediterranean cultures, providing a time-tested blueprint for aging well. The wisdom of these traditions, combined with modern verification, offers a path that is both ancient and cutting-edge. What vital part of myself am I neglecting because I fear the density of true nourishment? Vascular vitality and the flow of oxygen, the vitality of the brain, is absolutely dependent on the uninterrupted flow of oxygen-rich blood, a river of life that must reach every corner of the neural map to sustain function. Citrus fruits like oranges and grapefruits, along with the potent pomegranate, serve as critical agents in maintaining this vascular highway, ensuring that the delivery systems of the body remain open and efficient. Doctors emphasize the role of vitamin C and various bioflavonoids in strengthening capillary walls and preventing the stiffening of arteries, a condition that restricts blood flow and starves cognitive centers. From the perspective of Shi Heng Yi, this relates to the concept of qi or energy flow. Where there is stagnation, there is disease, and where there is free movement, there is life. The consumption of these fruits acts to remove biological blockages, allowing the life force to circulate without hindrance. Pomegranates, in particular, contain punicalagins, extremely powerful antioxidants that have been shown to reduce inflammation in the vascular system and improve blood flow, specifically to the brain during tasks requiring memory. This increase in perfusion means that during moments of mental exertion, the brain receives the surge of fuel it needs to perform, preventing the fatigue that often halts cognitive effort. The ability to sustain attention and recall information is physically tethered to this supply line. When the vessels are pliable and clear, the mind feels sharper, more awake, and more capable of handling complex information. The mechanism of action extends to the reduction of amyloid accumulation, the sticky protein plaques often associated with Alzheimer's disease. Studies suggest that the compounds in pomegranate and certain citrus fruits can help inhibit the formation of these plaques or assist the body in clearing them. This cleansing function is essential for long-term preservation, acting as a daily maintenance crew that sweeps the corridors of the mind. It reflects a proactive stance toward health, where the individual takes daily action to prevent the buildup of debris that would otherwise clutter the mental landscape. In the practical reality of a senior's routine, the inclusion of these fruits can be as simple as a morning ritual, a time to awaken the senses with the vibrant taste and aroma of citrus. This sensory engagement is itself a form of cognitive stimulation, waking up the neural pathways associated with smell and taste, which are often the first to diminish. The act of peeling an orange or extracting seeds from a pomegranate requires fine motor skills and focus, turning a snack into a small exercise in mindfulness and dexterity. It is a moment to connect with the immediate sensory experience, grounding the individual in the present. However, a necessary caution arises regarding the interaction between grapefruit and certain medications, a limitation that highlights the importance of informed consumption. The compounds that improve vascular health can also alter the metabolism of drugs, leading to potential complications. This reality demands that the pursuit of natural health be integrated with professional medical advice, ensuring that the strategy is safe and tailored to the individual's specific medical profile. It is a reminder that even natural tools must be used with wisdom and awareness of one's unique circumstances. The high acidity of citrus can also present challenges for those with sensitive digestive systems, requiring a modification of how these fruits are consumed, perhaps as part of a meal rather than on an empty stomach. Listening to the body's feedback is a core tenet of self-mastery. Forcing a food that causes discomfort violates the principle of harmony. The goal is to find a balance where the benefits are maximized and the drawbacks minimized, adapting the general advice to fit the specific vessel. The potassium found in bananas, while not a citrus fruit, complements this vascular support by regulating blood pressure and ensuring proper nerve transmission. The coordination between the heart's pumping action and the brain's reception of blood creates a rhythm of health that sustains the organism. When this rhythm is disrupted, cognitive decline accelerates. When it is supported, the mind retains its vigor. The focus on flow, of blood, of oxygen, of nerve impulses, is central to retaining the dynamic quality of youth even in advanced age. Ultimately, the health of the blood vessels is the health of the brain. There is no separating the container from the contents. By prioritizing foods that enhance circulation, the senior is effectively expanding the horizon of their cognitive future. It is an investment in the infrastructure of the self, ensuring that the roads remain open for thoughts to travel freely. Where in my life am I allowing stagnation to settle instead of inviting flow? The discipline of integration and cognitive renewal, the synthesis of these nutritional strategies, requires more than a checklist of foods. It demands a philosophy of integration where the act of eating becomes a pillar of daily discipline. The final grouping of beneficial inputs, including the mineral-rich profile of nuts and the quick energy of fruits like bananas, completes the dietary spectrum needed for robust brain health. However, as Shi Heng Yi would suggest, the tool is useless without the hand that wields it. The 7 fruits are not magic pills, but components of a lifestyle that prioritizes self-respect and consistency. The conclusion of this journey is not merely about adding items to a grocery list, but about adopting a mindset where the senior claims responsibility for their cognitive destiny. The medical evidence is clear that the brain retains the capacity for change, a quality known as neuroplasticity, throughout the entire lifespan. This potential is unlocked not by sporadic bursts of effort, but by the relentless rhythm of positive habits. The synergy of antioxidants, healthy fats, and vascular supporters creates an environment where the brain can thrive rather than just survive. This holistic environment is the fertile soil in which memory, clarity, and sharpness can grow. The integration of walnuts, for example, which resemble the brain in shape and provide high levels of DHA, omega-3 fatty acids, serves as a final seal of protection, enhancing cognitive inference and critical thinking. A critical component of this disciplined approach is the regulation of blood sugar through the strategic pairing of these fruits. Eating fruit in isolation can sometimes spike glucose, but combining it with the fats or proteins discussed earlier tempers this release, providing steady energy. This is the art of balance, the middle way applied to nutrition, avoiding extremes to maintain a center of gravity. The senior who masters this balance finds that their energy levels become predictable and reliable, freeing them from the tyranny of fatigue. The psychological dimension of this lifestyle change is profound. By choosing to nourish the brain with intention, the individual rejects the narrative of inevitable decline. This psychological stance triggers a placebo effect that amplifies the biological benefits, as the mind expects to be well and directs resources toward healing. The belief in one's ability to influence their own health is a powerful driver of actual physiological outcomes. It transforms fear of the future into preparation for it. Limitations remain, of course. Nutrition cannot fully override genetic predispositions or reverse advanced disease states entirely. Yet it can significantly alter the trajectory, flattening the curve of decline and extending the period of health span, the years lived in good health. The goal is not immortality, but maximizing the quality of every moment available. It is about dying young as late as possible, with a mind that remains lucid and engaged with the world. The ultimate promise of this journey is the preservation of the self. Our memories, our personality, and our wisdom are housed in the neural networks we seek to protect. By tending to the physical substrate of the mind with the wisdom of a master and the knowledge of a doctor, the senior secures their legacy. They ensure that they remain present for their loved ones, capable of sharing their stories and their guidance. To walk this path is to commit to a daily practice of self-love manifested through action. It is a quiet, powerful rebellion against the fading of the light. The fruits are the weapons, the meal is the practice ground, and the prize is a mind that remains an open, vibrant window to the world. What action will I take today to prove I am committed to my own longevity?